Hi, how's it going? So today I am making a fourth grade updates for specifically language arts. So I always do like a mid-year review, which I did previously. You'll find that video on my channel if you're interested. My year-end review is going to cover every single subject. So for the sake of time, I thought I would do individual subjects, kind of like a semi-mid and kind of in between mid final year review, just to show you guys specifically what worked in my opinion for everything we used for fourth grade for that subject. So thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. And so because this is language arts, I'm going to start with reading. Now, I'm not including books in this video because I do so many book-oriented videos, so I encourage you guys to check that out if you want to see what we're reading, what she's been reading. I did a lot of book updates throughout the year, but I haven't done a lot of curriculum updates. But since this is kind of dealing with language arts, I want to say what we're using and what hasn't worked. Okay, so for the year, since reading is so important, I always get a book log at the beginning of the year. So this year I got this. It's like Belle's Book Club. Also, I want to mention to you guys, I'm going to probably link my fourth grade curriculum video in the description of this video instead of linking everything individually, because I have pretty much everything I'm hoping in that video linked for you guys. So if there's something you see in this video and you want to know where I got it, or you want to just have the link, just click on that fourth grade curriculum video and it'll be there. So I don't have to go back and link everything separately because it's pretty much the same materials that I bought at the beginning of fourth grade. So for reading, I do a book log, and I just got this Belle's Book Club, and I would say it has not been a success because it's been very hard. Basically, the whole point was just for my daughter. The whole point was with this was I just thought it was cute because, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, she likes to read. And I thought it would work for my daughter just to write the title and everything. And for some people, I'm sure it works really well. But for us, it became way too messy. And my daughter would forget to write the date, and she would, forget some things to write. So I kind of feel like for fifth grade and moving forward, because this is fourth grade, I would like to go back to like a standard book log type book. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. It's just really messy, and like I wanted to try it out, this method, and it just hasn't, I've found, been very helpful for us. And these are all the books she read from the beginning of fourth grade all the way until now. So far she's read about 62 books. A lot of those are library books, and then some are books we own. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back to the regular book log. And then this was also something we tried for fourth grade. I just kind of all of a sudden got this idea by watching other people do like these book journals. And so it started off very strong, where I told my daughter to make a book journal. This is The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place. And I told her to do like the cast of characters, the main characters, and then kind of write like her favorite quote, and then kind of just draw like inspired by that book. And started off very strong, but then she kind of just lost interest in it, and you can see. And well, this one she kind of picked back up a little bit, but she just wasn't really that interested in it. And I honestly tried this myself in my personal reading, and I just wasn't that interested in it either. I don't know what it is, because we're both like creative, but when it came to doing book journals, which I see some people do these beautiful ones, it just wasn't something we were drawn to do. Yeah, so it was fun to try. And I still think everybody who's interested in their kids expressing themselves through books, this would be a good option to try, like to do like a book journal, versus just like an actual book log, which is more technical, I guess. But you could do both, which is what we tried. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not going to stick with it. Like, I think it's good that I was able to introduce this idea to my daughter. She's only 10, so maybe when she's 20 or 30 or 40 or 15, she might go back to doing this. That's why I don't think it's a failure, if I used that word earlier. I just think that it's just something that I'm not going to like incorporate specifically in our homeschool time going forward. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And I haven't been making her do it because I actually lost interest in it too. I don't know. Okay, another thing that this was like my favorite book that I bought for poetry ever. And it is a poem for every day of the year. And I was so excited about this book because it has literally a poem for every day of the year. Like January 6th, here's a poem. This is by Longfellow. So you get to be introduced to different poets. And I still like it, but it just kind of lost steam. I don't know what it is. We kind of just forgot. We just kind of forgot about it. And I think part of the time is probably because our homeschool space isn't the best organized, because we're homeschooling in our dining room, and I do want to make some changes for 5th grade for that. I think maybe that's part of the reason. We just were kind of unorganized this year. It was our first year homeschooling in our dining room, living room / dining room, what did I say? It's dining room. In our dining room. And before we kind of had a homeschool room, and I don't know why, but I just felt more organized in there. But my husband's kind of taken it over because he works from home and he has a lot of computer and monitors and stuff. And I actually have a computer in there too. But so this book, I still love it. Honestly, I don't even know if it's really for kids. I honestly think it's for adults, and a lot of the poems are they are adult, of course, poets, and I just think my daughter just wasn't that interested in it. I'm more interested in it, but yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. We still love it. We're still using it, but some days we just forget. And poetry was one of those things I have trouble letting go of, because it's one of those things where I love personally, but my daughter, as only a 10-year-old, she's not really drawn towards it. Even writing poetry, she doesn't like. I personally like to write poetry. So for me, I'm letting it go for 5th grade, but I still think it's a beautiful book. But yeah, but for 4th grade, I don't know. It just didn't. So the only book I am showing you guys is what we use for reading, because like I said, I have so many videos on read alouds and independent reads and all that. I'm just including my favorite and her favorite so far that we use for a read aloud. So this is a stage full of Shakespeare stories, 12 tales retold for children. So these are retellings. And we have a whole bunch of these by Angela McAllister. And this was our favorite one because it introduced my daughter to Shakespeare for the very first time. So even though it's retellings, she really, really, really liked these Shakespeare retellings. And I already planned for 5th grade to buy her another Shakespeare book. I think I'm going to still stick with the retellings for now because she's young, but eventually we're going to build up, hopefully, to where she's reading the original Shakespeare. So since this is the retellings, who knows if she'll be drawn to reading the original work of Shakespeare. But I think anything that I can encourage her to learn about, a writer and an author is a win for me. And so this book did that. And I really like the layout with the characters and stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to flip. So this was our favorite read aloud so far. Some of the stories took us several days to get through because we don't do fast read alouds. We're not fast readers, and we kind of just like to take our time, but that's okay. And so yeah, so this was my favorite because of that reason, because now she's really excited about Shakespeare. And then another little language arts thing that I added in, I believe for the first time for 4th grade, was a planner. So the main point of this planner was mainly just for her to write the date. And I mean, obviously I could have just had her, do it in a notebook, but I kind of wanted to get her into the idea, introduce her to the idea of a planner, because I use a planner personally every day, to keep track of daily things and stuff like that. So I wanted her to start being introduced to it, and I'm definitely going to continue this going forward for 5th grade. It's just real simple. I really don't have her write anything else. I really just have her do the date the correct way, and then she's kind of started to do her own thing. So this is the next book I want to show you guys. So I'm gonna link this next book because I don't know if it's in that first video that I told you guys, the 4th grade curriculum, because I did get it a little bit after. So I just will link this one book along with that video. And this is Hello World. So she, upon herself, she just asked me one day after we started 4th grade, she said she would like to learn different languages and possibly how to say like hello in different languages. So I found this book, and she's been writing like hello in Chinese. Like she writes the pronunciation, and then she writes the word, and she like says it out loud, and that's just something she did on her own with the planner. So I really like that. I didn't tell her to. And then this is the book, and it's just like literally hello world with a lift a flap, and it's really nice. It's probably one of my favorite books I've ever had in our homeschool, because she's really interested in this. I told her, would you want to study language more and maybe be a linguist or something like that? And she's like, no, but she just likes it as like a hobby, like casually just kind of doing it. Because when I was a kid, I can barely pronounce English. So like when I was a kid, and even now, like languages are just hard for me. I don't know. I'm not a word person, but yeah, so it's really nice. And she really loves this book. So yeah, so we've been using this. She's been writing this in her planner, Hello World. And okay, so now let me show you guys this. We've already finished it. So I did get her word ladders for the very first time for 4th grade. This is grades 4 to 6, and my big regret is not discovering them sooner. I actually did discover them sooner, but I just literally had them sitting in my Amazon like wish list, like language arts wish list for years, and I just never bought them. And I think they're a really, really, really good way to do like kind of logic and vocabulary. It's like wordplay, and you have to figure out the words and things like that. And she's already finished it, and they have the answers in the back. And so we've pretty much completed the whole thing. She just did. It has like 107 pages. Oh, we still have a little thing in it. So it has like so we finished it, and there aren't any other ones that are 4 to 6. There's 2 to 3, I believe, and 1 to 2. I've thought about maybe getting the 2 to 3 one. I'm not sure, but now that we're almost towards the end of 4th grade year, I'm just gonna let it go. But I really wish I could find something else like this. But that was a huge success for 4th grade. And another thing that we finished is Handwriting Without Tears, Cursive Success. And so she's already finished it from front to back for handwriting. And she really loves cursive. Like cursive is one of those things, if I would just let her write in cursive for like an hour, she would. I don't know why, but she just does. And I think Handwriting Without Tears, we've been using it since kindergarten, and it's really worked out for us. Like it's just simple, and some of her letters still, like her R's, I have a hard time sometimes understanding that it's an R. So we still have some work to do with continuing. So I definitely plan on continuing cursive for 5th grade, but I don't know if I'm going to use Handwriting Without Tears. I do know that I have this like weird thing about me where if I like a curriculum, I like to finish it for some reason. So I think there's like one more because it goes up to 5th grade. So what I think I might do is like get the last one, and then she might do it over the summer. And then I already have some plans for a different handwriting kind of a curriculum, kind of not. These workbooks I found on Amazon that I'm going to show you guys way later because I haven't bought them yet. But I don't know, but I don't think I plan on using it for 5th grade. Only because I think it would be good to do it in the summer, and maybe we could just finish in the summer. But I've been really happy with Handwriting Without Tears. And we also have been practicing her cursive. I don't know if I grabbed it. We have here it is. Let me show you guys. So since we finished this, I didn't want her to not have cursive practice. So this was like leftover from, I believe, 3rd grade. It's just a blank notebook writing journal, and I just had her copy sentences I wrote. And like the R I mentioned, I had her practice the R because sometimes her R's don't look like R's, and that was her main letter. I was like, oh, I want to get that R. I want her to perfect that R. But so we're going to continue doing this until the end of 4th grade. And then, like I said, for 5th grade, I think we're just going to go with these other workbooks I found. But I would like to complete Handwriting Without Tears. And we stopped using that print because what I use instead is Draw Right Now. And she's already finished book 7. And we've been having this notebook for years. And so we've already finished book 7. It's animals. We love Draw Right Now. And now we're on book 8. And so these are like her. She doesn't like to use crayons anymore. Like Draw Right Now, kindergarten through like 3rd grade, we used crayons. And we had a cute little crayon roll that we kept on the desk or whatever. And she's like, now she only wants to use colored pencils. So now she's only using colored pencils. And yeah, so she really likes the drawing aspect of it, like the coloring. And so that's worked out really well for us. And the sad thing is it's over. This is the last one, book 8. So we've been using this all the way from kindergarten, and we're going to wrap it up, the final book for 4th grade. So it's kind of bittersweet because I'm glad we're finishing it, but now we have to move on to do something else. And I haven't found anything I like that's comparable to Draw Right Now. So I'm kind of still looking around to see what I'm going to use to replace it, because I still do want her to get some print practice, but I think I might do it in a more unconventional way, whereas like I'm kind of mixing it with something else. So I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I really haven't found anything that I liked that was like similar. But yeah, we're going to be ending that. And so it was really good and I really recommend it. And then for vocabulary again has been one of those things that's been very smooth sailing this year. At the beginning of each year so far, I've always bought a vocabulary book. I've always tried to find something that's kind of like artsy and cool, because we like books like that. And this is 360 Words for Clever Kids. And what's nice about it is she gets to choose. This is like we're on week 29 right now. And she gets to choose whatever word she wants. And then she gets to read the definition in here, which is very short. I mean, honestly, this is probably geared for like younger kids, but that's okay with me because I really like the illustrations. They're really fun and whimsical. They just remind me of something you would see in like a little golden book or something, or like Richard Scarry or something. Like they're just very cute and whimsical. So that's the vocabulary book, and I really love it. I'm going to be sad this is going to be over because we're about halfway through, and I don't usually use the same book twice. I just like to keep things kind of fresh. And so it's not that she can't use this book in her free time, but we'll be done with it at the end of 4th grade. And then what we're using with it is all the words, vocabulary, my word journal. So this is from another YouTuber and homeschool mom. I will link her channel, and then I will, like I said before, I will link that 4th grade curriculum video, because this is linked in the description of that video with everything else. And so yeah, this has worked out really great. We're almost finished. So we only have, we only have like a week or, 1, 2, 3. We only have a week left of this. And so what's going to happen is when we finish this, I'm just going to have her do this orally. I guess I could have her write it on a board. We have a whiteboard, or I could have her write it in a notebook. I haven't decided yet. I might leave it up to her, but otherwise we might just finish this orally. I mean, we're almost in March. I'm filming this at the end of February, and we did start homeschool early this year. We started August 1st, whereas usually we start closer to September. So we kind of are early this year. That's why I think we're finishing everything so soon, because we're not year-round homeschoolers. We pretty much homeschool like usually August through May, or September, through May, something like that. And this year, so yeah, so I really like that you get to draw. You get to draw. She loves drawing. Her drawing is her thing. So yeah, and this has been very good. I highly recommend it. Okay, and then so another thing regarding curriculum is growing with grammar. So growing with grammar, we're almost done this too. Like we're almost finished everything, and like we're almost in March, and I'm kind of thinking we're gonna finish May 1st because just the way things are wrapping up, we're almost finished science, we're almost finished history because we started August 1st. So yeah. So this is Growing with Grammar, and I love Growing with Grammar. Another homeschool mom recommended it to me, and I always tell her, I like to say thank you again for recommending this to me, because it's like I just never really even knew about it, and we've been using it for years now, and it's just really good for us. So this is by Jack Chris's Publishing, and so basically it's just no frills. It's all black and white, and it's really been working for us. Like my daughter reads this by herself, like 1.3 commands and explanation. She reads all of it. It's like usually 2 or 3 pages, not very much. And then she goes on to do the matching worksheets. So 1.13. Yeah, so she goes on to do the matching worksheet. So this goes worksheet 1.1, very easy to understand. 1.13 goes with this, and then she does it. And then if she has any questions, of course, she asks me. She usually doesn't. What I also like about it is, sometimes it'll like have page numbers to go back. Let's see. And look at, like right here, it says 1.110 for the conjunction, the run-on sentences. So you can go back and pull out 1.110. Yeah. So then you can go out and get out 1.110 and look at it and say, okay, well, to remind you. So she's learned how to do that. Like it's like catching, like being very self-aware and being independent. And I like that. So she's able to do that. Not that I mind helping her, but it's easier for her to just read it, than for me to just like, so it's like, I like it. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's very good for promoting independent work. And so you can go back. I like that. And before we started using this, I was just kind of like all over the place with grammar. Like, I don't know, like it wasn't like her sentence structures have improved so much. Her writing, like her grammar is better than mine. Like she's pretty, like obviously she makes mistakes, of course, no one's perfect, but her grammar has improved a lot since using this. And she gets a lot of it right too. Like I'm pretty impressed by how well it teaches her. So I'm very happy with Growing with Grammar, and I 100% plan on using it for 5th grade. I don't know, I need to check what grade it goes up to, but the only thing I want to comment, if you guys, let me show it a little bit more in case you're like interested. So basically, this is a table of contents, and then, so it pretty much covers, I think, everything you need. And then the only thing that annoys her, and it's because we don't understand it that much, is the diagramming. Like the diagramming, like this is the diagramming, it's getting harder and harder. They almost are starting to look like puzzles. So the diagramming is, watch, like it's getting even more crazy. Like this, I've been scratching off. I've been like telling her she doesn't even have to do all of them at this point. This is one of the diagrams that she got it wrong, and then I corrected it in red. It's like almost like a puzzle. Like I went back and I read through the manual, and it's really just because I'm ignorant to it, because I don't remember doing diagramming. If I did, I just don't remember it, and I don't remember like it at all. And so I'm having her literally skip it. Maybe that's not good of me to do it, but she's not getting anything out of it, and I'm not getting anything out of it. And like I read about it also online, thinking maybe this book just didn't explain it well, and I still am kind of like, what? I don't so, but I don't care, because that's just a small part of the curriculum. Like I don't need, I still have her try at least to do 1 per section at this point, versus sometimes it's like just a whole page like this, it's like just 4 of them, and sometimes it's like more. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of diagramming. So I don't I know it's supposed to be helpful, but that's the only thing. And then this is the answer bank. So I like how it's like a little separate answer bank. And I'm very happy with growing with grammar. And so that's everything I have to show you guys for today for language arts. Like I said, we're kind of in between mid-year and end of year, and I'm going to briefly go over everything again at the end of the year, my end of year review, but I just want to do specific subjects. So thanks so much, especially everyone who watches to this point, watches at all, likes, subscribes. If you're not subscribed, I really appreciate for you to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and find it helpful. Thanks so much. Bye.